Hello and welcome to this week's Full Steam Ahead, a program combining fun projects and learning about science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. I'm your resident Youth Services librarian, Eric Mahalitz, here at the Kent Public Library, and in today's session, we're going to be doing some salt painting. In doing so, we're going to make our own watercolor paints using food coloring and water. We're going to use our mad drawing skills using my favorite medium, glue. And we're going to learn about the super absorbent quality of salt. What are we waiting for? Let's get started. Before we get our hands dirty, it's important to understand the important role salt plays in salt painting. Salt is a hygroscopic substance, which means that it attracts and holds water molecules through absorption. Have you ever seen a salt shaker get clogged up? The salt is attracting and absorbing moisture from the air, and in turn, clumping up and plugging any and all holes where salt is supposed to come out. Have you or anyone you know ever dropped a phone or a tablet in water? One possible solution in both cases is rice. Rice is also a hygroscopic substance. In the case of the salt shaker, adding a few grains of rice makes it so that moisture from the air gets absorbed by the rice, leaving your precious salt clump free. What about that soaking wet electronic device? Putting it in a bag of rice might not save the day, but rice has been known to eliminate most moisture from inside electronics and keep those handy gadgets going for years to come. Let's get out all our salt painting supplies and see this in action. So here we have all the things we need to do our salt painting. We have salt, of course, and I've already made a couple watercolors, a blue and a green, using my food coloring. But to do this, I simply used about 5 drops of food coloring and maybe 2 tablespoons of water. Swirl it around or mix it, and you've got yourself some nice watercolor paint to use there. Same with the green. I've got a simple Elmer's school glue here and a pencil, and I'll explain that in a moment. And we're using some droppers. This is what we'll use to do our actual painting. If you don't have droppers, you can certainly use an actual paintbrush to do this. I find the droppers to give you a little bit more control for this particular kind of activity. But again, you have other options there. And certainly you can use regular watercolor paints rather than making your own. Then here we have, this is heavier cardstock, which is good for this one. It just gives you a nice, stronger medium to work with. And, you know, certainly when working with watercolors, you know, if at any point you use a little bit too much, the cardstock will absorb it better than, you know, a regular piece of printer paper. And then here I've got a little tray. You can use anything, but you'll probably want something because we're going to be using a lot of salt at some point, which you'll see later. And so any kind of tray, baking sheet, something to put underneath your paper to catch all that salt later on will be to your advantage. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a pencil to draw out what it is that I want to paint. You can skip past this part and go straight to the glue if you want. I find it helpful to have that pencil line drawing first that I can then later sketch or go over the top of with my glue. And I am going to, just to give you an example here, something to follow. I am going to write my name. One nice thing about this project is, what you choose to do can really vary. So you can use this in an educational sense by practicing letters, practicing numbers, practicing math sentences, practicing writing actual sentences. You can use it to do simple or elaborate drawings. There's really no end to what you can do for this. But just to give an example, and I'm doing this upside down, so bear with me here. So now I have my pencil drawing. And again, this can be whatever you want, but now I'm going to simply go over all those pencil lines with glue. And the one thing I would say about laying down your glue is you don't need to be too heavy-handed here. You don't need to go crazy. Just make sure you've got a nice solid line of glue over your pencil drawing and enough for your salt to grab onto later on. So this is, I might do a little bit more than that. And the other part of this too is if you put too much glue, you're just going to spend a little bit more time waiting for it to dry before you can move on to your next steps. So I'll finish this up. And there you have it. So I've got my glue, my pencil drawing down. I've got my glue layer over the top of my pencil drawing. And now what we want to do is take our salt, and you can be quite generous with this. You don't necessarily want to be wasteful, but make sure that you get a good covering on all of your glue. Anything that we doesn't get attached to the glue, we're just going to shake off, hence the tray or baking sheet underneath. But since this salt has touched glue, you might want to keep this for art projects rather than using in your cooking. Okay. And let's shake it off. So you can see how raised off the page that is with the glue and now the salt on it. Okay, and now I'm going to give that a little time to dry. I'm not going to apply any paint just yet. So let's take a break and we'll come back to this in a moment. So I've given this a little time to dry, and now I'm going to shake it off one more time just to get any loose bits off of there before we start adding color. Okay. So now I'm going to take my dropper and I'm going to start with green. Use whatever color you've chosen to use. You can also, mix colors if you want. Again, I'm going to start as slow as I can with this until I know exactly how it's going to react. Pretty cool. And it just sort of seeps its way through all those salt crystals. But you don't see any of it go onto the paper itself. Now, again, salt is what is called a hygroscopic ionic compound. So it's strongly attracted to and absorbs polar water. So salt can absorb water from liquid or vapor in humid air. It quickly attracts and absorbs the water before it can even touch the paper, as we've seen here. Now, if you put too much paint or water onto this, you will go past what the salt can absorb. So it gets to a point where it just can't absorb anymore. And at that point, you would start to see your paint go on to the surrounding paper. But so you can see what that green is doing. I'm gonna try and inject some blue into the mix here. Just try and get as much of that green out of there as I can. Grab some blue. You see it behaves much the same way. So again, you can use paint brushes to do this, but you can see how kind of convenient and easy it is to use these droppers, which are pretty easy to get and pretty inexpensive if you think you're going to have a use for it beyond one or more times. And certainly you can reuse these. Okay, so I'm just going to complete my my coloring job here, and we'll see what this looks like when it's all done. And there you have it. So I can see, and I noticed this when I shook off the salt the last time, is it seems like a lot of, if not all of the salt came off in a few spots. You can see where some of the watercolor has kind of pooled up here. So that tells me there's not a lot of salt in those spots that's soaking up that salt. So or salt in those points that's soaking up that liquid. So that liquid is just pooling there and not being absorbed. So that tells me that I likely didn't put enough glue in those few spots. You can see another spot here. There's a little bit of that going on over here. But for the most part, you can see what this kind of will look like. And again, you can draw whatever you want. You can draw as many things as you want. All it takes, again, is a piece of paper and these simple ingredients here. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's Full Steam Ahead. As always, I hope you had fun and learned a little something along the way. See the link in the description for more information and subscribe to the Kent Library YouTube channel. For now, this is Mr. Eric signing off until another Full Steam Ahead.